Okay, in this video I'll be covering white playing. Okay, previously we have done the close playing. Okay, so just a recap, close playing means that you are playing very close together and it has to be on the higher register of the keyboard, right, somewhere around here. This is close playing, right. White playing will be the opposite. Okay, so meaning that you will be playing, your both hands will be playing quite wide apart. All right, your left hand will be playing somewhere at the lower side of the keyboard. All right, and your right hand can be at the higher register of the keyboard, maybe around here. You know. Okay, so what's the point of playing in this white playing style? Okay, again, white playing helps in creating a variation. You know, helps you to think out of the box. All right. So if you deliberately play in a very wide playing style, you realize that your left hand you have, like at least 2 or 3 octaves of a range to fulfill. Right. Say if you start over here, all right. You have many notes that you can play till you reach your right hand. All right. So again, that's the whole idea of playing the white playing style. All right. So you can play, a wide choice of notes as compared to close playing. Close playing, you are very restricted. Okay. Whereas a white playing, if you have like 2 octaves, you can do really a lot of things. Okay. Now the whole idea is, okay, not exactly the whole idea. Well, the restriction to using white playing. All right, we're in white playing style, right? The restrictions will be that you don't have exactly like sometimes you may not have 4 beats within a bar. Some bars you may have only like 2 beats, for example. So in 2 beats within a chord, you have only 2 beats to play. That may means that you only have 4 quaver notes, 1 and 2 and then you have to switch to the next chord. So if you were to do this, for instance, 1 and 2 and, by the time you hit the 10th note, you are done. All right, then you have to switch to the next chord. Okay, so if you do that, you will have one problem, which is this. Okay. Okay, so musically, what is wrong with that playing? You realize that when I'm doing that, okay, because my both hands are now very wide apart. Okay, I'm practicing the white playing style, but the center of the keyboard, it is always empty, which is not good. All right, this part over here. So nobody is playing this part. Neither is your right hand fulfilling the center part of the keyboard. Neither is your left hand playing over here, because simply you wouldn't have time to to come over here, because you only have like say 2 beats within a chord. So why is it important to play over here? Now, first we have to understand the sound spectrum. All right, the sound spectrum, I think that's what they call it, or the frequencies in audio. When you're playing so low, all right, the frequencies get very low, and when you have too many low frequencies going around, all right, okay, I mean, I give you a very good example. If I were to play C and D together over here, all right, can you really hear it's C and D, distinctively? I mean, you could maybe, if you're experienced enough, yeah, I could hear the 2 notes, but it doesn't sound as good as if you are playing at the higher register of the keyboard. Alright, this gets clearer. Alright. Now if I were to do the C and D at the very low side of the keyboard, alright, you can't differentiate. But it's not exactly about differentiating and identifying the intervals. It's about musically yes, and audio clean. I don't think that's the right word to use. But it does sound much better as you go up the higher on the higher register of the keyboard. In other words, in layman words, we want to hit as many notes at the higher side of the keyboard as compared to playing many notes at the lower register of the keyboard. That's number one. Because if you were to be doing this, okay, you get all the muddiness. That's number one. And musically, it is not balanced. All right. In a complete band, you have your bassist, you have your guitarist, you have your keyboardist, you have strings going on. You know, you have all sorts of instruments. Even the strings orchestra. There's a cello and the violin. You know, stuff like that. So every instrument covers a certain spectrum of a certain frequency spectrum. Okay, and your keyboard is it's you know, you have the low octaves, you have the middle octaves, you have the higher octaves. Basically, your keyboard is you know, you can cover the whole entire spectrum. So we have to balance it up. All right, we have to make sure that, you know, you have your lows, all right, if you're playing a white bling, and also make sure that you have your mids. And this is the part that actually sounds the most pleasing part to the ear, as opposed to if I would do here. Okay, so how can we make it balanced? All right, we simply try to make our left and right hand, okay, or rather we make our left hand to end somewhere near to our right hand. By doing so, all right, your last few notes of the left hand will be very near to your right hand, and then you'll be playing certain notes around here, say for example. So how can you do? Okay, if you refer to the book, example A, you see that I start with the root note C, right, and I don't play a 5. All right, if you play a 5 over here, I mean, there's no issue with doing that. But if the chord only has 2 counts, you only have 1 and 2 and to fulfill the chord. Okay, so if you play a 5 over here, you know, you end up maybe playing the next note over here and then here, you know, and that's the end. Okay, so instead of playing the 5th note, 1, you can hit the 3rd note, or in other words, the 10th. I would like to call it the 3rd for now because it's easier to see, right? So 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so it's a very big jump, and that's the whole point. We don't really want to have too many notes going on the lower side, right? Okay, again, it doesn't sound very ideal, right? So we have 1 over here. The next note we will hit the 3rd note. All right. Now try practicing this. Now, obviously, most of the students cannot do this. All right. But we don't have to have the students to do this. Okay, we can simply just move our hand. Okay. Okay. So once you hit 1 and 3, right, you can do whatever you like over here. 1 and 2 and. All right. So you see this whole entire pattern. It's much wider right now, and then you actually try to reach closer to a right hand, and then the whole improvisation will be very much more balanced. You can also restrict yourself to just playing 3 notes. For example, 1, 3, 5. All right, that's one way. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 1, 3, 5. Okay. Now, of course, if the chord is the chord has 4 counts, you can move on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right. So 1 and 3. Okay. Now this is the basics of white playing. All right. In order to fulfill white playing, the first 2 notes of your left hand has to be very wide apart. Now, if you don't play wide apart for the first 2 notes, you end up, doing the usual 158, 1510, which then again is very similar to the stuff that we did in level 1. So we want to teach something different. We want to think out of the box. We want to encourage the student to do something very different. All right. So this is something different. Okay. Now you can also expand on this. All right. Instead of doing 1 and 3, all right, you can do 1 and 5. Now this is all in your book. I will suggest that if you're not flipping to your book, you may want to do so right now. This is in example B. So instead of doing 1 and 3,